Hello and welcome to another episode of The Average EV. Today I'm going to be reviewing the EVGOER 40 amp charger. Let's get into it. All right, so here I have the 40 amp EVGOER charger. This is the J1772, so that's for all of your non-Tesla vehicles that have the J1772 plug. Now, before we open this up and take a look at it, I'm going to talk a little bit about the instruction manual. So it's a really nice instruction manual, has everything you want to know, goes over all the parts and features, explains the screen that is on the unit, and this unit does have a screen, which is a nice feature about it. Shows you here as far as setting up your electrical for it. So your NEMA 1450 plug, if you want to pull the 40 amps, it tells you need to have a 50 amp circuit. That is protocol. Any electrician should know that. So when you get all that set up, if you don't have it set up already, make sure you have a 50 amp circuit, or if you're going to do less than that, then you're going to want to adjust the current that comes from the charger, and that's really easy to do. I'm going to show that later in the video. Moving on, I just wanted to go over a couple things here with the specifications that I thought were interesting. So first off, it is a 40 amp charger, which means if you're running it at 40 amps, you're going to get 9.6 kilowatts about, which is nice, and that can charge your car up pretty fast. That's what we have now and for our cars, and we're able to charge two cars, make sure they're ready to go at 80% for the next day. Again, it has the NEMA 1450 plug, which is pretty standard, so you might already have one, or if you get one, the electrician's going to know what to do. It says for cable length, it's approximately 20 feet. I did measure it, and for the part that goes from the body to the handle, it's about 16 or 17 feet, and then the body to the plug is about 2 feet, and so that adds up to about 19 feet. So the 20 feet is the full unit, so if you need a little bit more length, just be aware that this really is more like 16 to 17 feet from where it mounts on the wall, if you're going to mount it on the wall. Obviously, it has pretty normal operating temperatures. And then the big thing that I think is important to know is it is IP66 rated, which is pretty much good for most weather. So if you want to use this outside, you're going to be good to go. And again, it reminds you it has the 50 amp breaker. And then one thing I just thought was a little bit interesting. So in the instruction manual, that's why I have it, it says that it has a 12-month warranty. And then on the website under description, it says it has a 2-year warranty. And then later on the page, it says it has a 3-year warranty. So I am going to reach out to them, and then below, I'm going to tell you the official word I got from them. I'm assuming it's going to be the 3-year warranty. And if that's true, that's great. That means they stand by their product. And even if it's a 2-year warranty, that's still pretty good. But I'm going to, again, reach out to them and ask them about that for you all, so you all know, because it is a little bit confusing. So let's go ahead and open up the charger. It comes with a nice carrying case. You can keep it in here, throw it in your car if you want to use it as a portable charger, or if you want to use it at home, I guess you can store other things in it. So we'll go ahead, open it up, and here it is. A lovely blue color. I actually like it. I have a feeling some people might not like the color, but I like the color. I think it looks really nice. So we'll start from the handle and work our way down. So it has a little rubber cap here, which you're gonna wanna use, keeps dust out so you don't have any sort of issues. So you can plug it in when you're done, pop this bad boy on, and you're gonna be good to go. It is made of plastic. I'm gonna be really honest, it's not the strongest feeling plastic. I haven't dropped it because I personally don't wanna break this unit. But I could see if it drops hard enough, maybe it could crack or something like that. So just be careful when you're handling it. And I've seen other chargers that have similar handles. So, you know, it is what it is. I think as far as safety, it'll be fine, but just be aware of the material. Here we have the plastic push button, and we've got the locking mechanism that goes into the car. When I've plugged it in, I don't get the satisfactory click, but it is in place. So just be aware that that's kind of been my observation about it, but it plugs in and it works absolutely fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this back on, and we're gonna move to the next part of the charger, which is the cable. And again, I like the color, but it's pretty flexible. They did on their website, they were touting that they have improved the quality of the cable to do well in the cold. I haven't been able to test that because it's not quite cold yet. It's getting there here in Maryland, but it seems like it would probably be okay. So there it is. It's pretty easy to maneuver, not too heavy. Sometimes some 40 amp chargers or 48 amp chargers have like really thick cable, and there are regulations so they have to have certain sizes, but there's that. It was pretty easy to manipulate to put into the case, so that's nice. So now we're moving on to the main kind of body of the charger. Here it is. I like it. I like that as a screen. I think it has all the information you would want to need. If you don't care about it, then you don't have to worry about it. But for me, I do like to know some of those things. It will show how much energy was delivered, and that will include some losses in there, so it might not be everything your car gets, but I do like that. And then here, there's the A button. That's how you can adjust the current. So that's the amp. So that's basically how much energy is going to your car. And you can adjust that from 40 down to a couple different settings. And then the button here below is if you want to do a timer. So maybe you want it to start in 2 or 3 hours. You make sure it's plugged into the wall. You plug this into your car, and then you can set the timer. You can't set the timer until it's plugged in the car. I did test that a couple times just to make sure I gave you all the right information. So, and actually on the back too, it says hold 2 seconds to operate. So when you want to change things, you have to hold 2 seconds, and then it'll beep, and then you'll click, 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 and then hold again, and then I will set it. So that's pretty nice. I do enjoy that. So here we have the NEMA 1450 plug, and that'll go into your NEMA 1450 receptacle. Here, I'll take that off. There it is. It's got the ground. One thing I do want to mention, at least for my setup at my house, my ground is actually at the top of it. So I have to plug it in this way, which means I basically have to kind of have the unit upside down to plug it in. And you can turn the cable. So there we go. That's, hold up. I've done this before. There we go. So that's not the best setup for me. And then what happens for me is the screen is upside down. So maybe consider that when you're getting this. And you do want to have it like attached to the wall so that the weight isn't on the cable here. So it might slip out or pop out or something like that. So that's just something to consider. And I am going to mention it to EVGOER. There are just some of my observations that, at least for me, most of the time, you know, the ground's on the top that I've seen, but you know, maybe other people have it a different way. So there is the unit. Again, as far as quality is concerned it's pretty good. It's definitely not like the best quality. Like I was talking about the handle. I wish this plastic was maybe a little bit durable, maybe rubberized or something like that. Maybe a metal pin is always nice, so that you know if you drop it, you're not going to break the pin. But it's also not the worst. I've definitely seen a lot lower quality things. So it's nice, and as far as the price is concerned, I think it's good as far as for pricing, and I think that you're definitely, you know, getting what you pay for. You have these attachments here to make sure that there's no ingress of water. So yeah, I mean, it's a nice little unit, and there it is. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go down to my garage, show you it plugged in, show you how the screens work, stuff like that, and then we'll come back here and I'll give you my final thoughts about the unit. All right, so now I'm down here in the garage, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip the camera around, show you the EVGOER plugged into the outlet, and kind of explain some of the things I was talking about earlier in the video. All right, everybody, here's the first thing. So here's my outlet, and like I was kind of talking about, you can see my ground is on top, and you can actually see the wording, maybe you can't, but the wording is the correct direction this way, which would imply to me at least that's the way it's supposed to be installed. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take in, I'm gonna plug in that EVGOER plug there. So there it is. And now you can kind of, you see it's hanging here. And right now the body's facing the opposite direction, but that's fine because you would want to have it like this. But you can see here, now the screen is upside down and the buttons are upside down. So that's what I was kind of talking about for this. The unit's gonna be upside down. I almost feel like they should have switched where the cables went in so that the part that connected to the outlet was on top and then the part that went to the cable was on bottom. Because it really is not ideal for this to hang like this, and you can even see a little bit that this is popping out. And that will happen with any charger if you let the full body weight hang. You can see it pops out. So I'm gonna keep that in place, and so you'd wanna have it attached to the wall to keep the weight off. So I hope that makes sense, and I kind of showed that to everybody. I'm not gonna mount this to my wall right now, so please forgive me for breaking the rules I just told you not to do, but there's that. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna flip this so you all can kind of see the screen here. So again, It shows the temperature, it shows the voltage of your house, and it shows what current you have selected. Right now it's 40 amps, and it says waiting authorization. So here I can click through the A, well, click and hold the A for 2 seconds, that pops up. You can click and cycle through, and it's really responsive. I actually love how the buttons work, it's really nice. And you can change it to whatever amperage you want. In fact, you can actually change the amperage when it's plugged in, which I actually kind of like. So you can click through there, and then what you want to select, you hold it down once you're there, and boom, it's set to 40 amps, which I already had it set to. Now, if you want to do the timer, I'll show you when you click and hold down. You try to set it now, it won't set. That's because it's not plugged in. So I'm going to plug that in and show you all how that works. All right, so I've brought my car into the garage here, and I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. So open the port, plug it in. And there, that was actually a pretty good click. So that's better than what I had experienced before, so that's nice. You could hear a ka-chunk, you hear a beep from my car, which means it's good to go. We're getting 8 kilowatts of power. It's probably actually 9.6, and I'll go show you on the screen the 9.6. But here, we're in the car. It's ramping up a little bit there too. But we're charging, so working nice. So let's step out of the car and let's go ahead and look at the screen. All right, so here is the screen. You see it says 40 amps. We're getting 40 amps, and it says we're getting 9.4 kilowatts. That's because my voltage is 235 volts. It dropped a little bit. You can see it's heating up a little bit, which it will do, which is fine. And then the graphics here kind of show a battery charging up, which was nice. And here you can see it's actually, oh, I clicked the button. Here you can see it's adding some energy to the car, and it's done 0.2 kilowatt hours. That will build as time goes on. And here you can see the time is kind of clicking away. Now let me show you a couple things I was talking about. If you want to change the amperage, hold this. Oh, sorry, 2 seconds. So this is weird because it let me do this before. There we go. So there's the delay time. I'm gonna leave that in so you can see that happen. But if you want to turn it off or go back to 0, have to get to 0 and then hold. Now here, hold for 2 seconds. That was a weird little glitch. That's never happened to me before, but maybe I pressed something too many times. But if you want to change how fast it's charging here, I'll go to the bottom end of the spectrum, 8 amps, which will be nice and slow. Hold that, and you'll see that it'll drop down and adjust to what I set it to. And now it's at 8 amps, and I'm getting 1.9 kilowatts. If I want to change it again, click here, bump it up. Maybe I'll bump up to 16 amps, hold. There's 16 amps getting 3.8, and then I'll show the last one because why not? 32 amps, do that, it'll bump up to 32 amps, and I'm getting 7.5 kilowatts. And that's typically what a lot of chargers that come with cars will charge at, is 7.5, and this goes all the way up to 9.6, which is nice. Hold that, set it up. All right, I kind of showed you already, but I'll show you if you want to set a charge time. You press this button here, and you just click how many hours you want to delay by. You can't set an exact time because obviously this kind of resets every time, but that is what you can do. You press and hold 4 hours, and then at the top, you'll see it's a counting down, and that is not delivering any power. So that is a nice little feature if your car doesn't already do that for you. So go ahead and change that back. And click, and we are good to go. So that's that. I really love all these features. Again, the buttons, I like, you don't really push anything in. It's kind of capacitive, which is nice. But yeah, really easy to use. All right, so just a few things I'm gonna talk about, and then I'm gonna wrap this video up. So first of all, this does comply with UL standards, so nice and safe to use. It has the IP66 rating. Additionally, that's safe to use out in most weather conditions. And you know, with this unit, you're getting like a pretty good unit for the price. The unit that came with my car, which I actually think is the same price or a little bit more expensive, is definitely not as quality compared to this. It doesn't have the screen, you can't adjust anything on it. So you know, honestly, I think you're getting something pretty good for the money. And as far as price is concerned, I'm gonna say the prices, but they could change. But right now on their website, this is listed for $250. You can find it on Amazon. I think it's actually like $199 on Amazon right now, so that makes it an even sweeter deal as far as that is concerned. But again, I think it's a nice unit you're going to be happy with. No complaints there. And that's pretty much all I have about the EVGOER 40 amp portable charger. And again, this is that J1772 for non-Tesla vehicles. And yeah, if you want to get it, go for it. I don't think you're going to be disappointed at all. So thanks again for watching. If you haven't already, please remember to give a like, a subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will see you all next time.